Hey Gemini, come on in. It is time to do your energy forecast for the week ahead. Hi there everyone. My name is Lee Shanks and I am doing the energy forecast for the sign of Gemini. This is for the week of April the 7th through to the 14th. In my readings I use two separate decks. The first deck I'm using today is from The Universe Has Your Back, and I'll pull one card from that deck and then we'll move over to the Lantern Oracle and I will pull three more cards. So your first card is your overarching energy for the entire week, okay? And look at this. Obstacles are detours in the right direction. All right, Gemini, what this is saying is that if you keep trying to do things this way and you're heading off in this direction, and that's where you've got your goals set, that's where your expectations are, and you're pretty bound and determined to go in that direction. But when you find that doors keep closing in front of you, or you're not being provided the stage that you need, or the ear that you need, or whatever it is, that's redirecting you. And you can stand there and you can fight it. Sure you can. This is where I want to be. This is where my expectations are. That's where I set my goals and that's where I'm going. Great, guess what? If it's for you, the doors will open, things will line up, you'll see synchronicities falling into place. But if you're finding instead that you keep hitting roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, it is the universe trying to direct you in a whole new direction, right? So just allowing yourself to be moved to that new direction without fight, right? Because when we stand and fight it, that's actually where we invite suffering in, right? We get all frustrated and stressed out and confused and things aren't working out the way they're supposed to and you're not in control. That's an illusion. All right, control is an illusion, people. And what you really want to do is recognize that this isn't working and I need to go this way. All right, and then what you're going to do is find those doors opening up for you pretty easily, likely before you even reach for the handle. All right, I'm going to pull three more cards here from the Lantern Oracle. That first card is your overarching energy for the week ahead. And now I'm going to pull out three more cards and break that week down just a little bit further for you. All right, so we have Radical Self-Love. Always a good card to pull at any time. And it says here, we can only receive love to the extent that we unconditionally love and live the truth of ourselves. Now, that doesn't mean, Gemini, that just because you don't fully love and appreciate yourself that you are in fact unlovable. That's bullshit. I don't feel like we have to have a full sense of self or self-appreciation before we find love. I tell everybody unabashedly, I learned to love myself through my husband's eyes. But I also set the intention to learn to love myself. And he was a huge boost for me in that direction, but I really had to do the work myself, right? I couldn't take that external validation as trusting that was the mirror image of who I was, because then that gave validation to somebody that saw me that way, which means if somebody saw me a different way, negative, I'm going to give them just as much leeway or weighted their words, right? And I don't do that. I had to look for that inner validation. Yes, my husband's external validation helped me to believe that there was something worthwhile in here, worth loving, but I had to take the journey to do that, all right? So, and then understanding that your obstacles, so if you are in fact having difficulty in a relationship or finding a relationship, it doesn't mean that you have to be healed, that you have to be perfect before it's coming in for you. But I would suggest that you at least need to set the intent to learn to love yourself. All right. That's what that takes. That's your value. That's your worth. And that's where that comes from. Yeah. And look at this. Strength of vulnerability. Beautiful. Because being vulnerable does take strength. In fact, I think it's one of the most courageous things we can do is learning to be vulnerable. True power lies at the root of a perceived weakness. So whatever you think your weakness is, I would suggest to you that it is in all likelihood probably your super strength, your superpower. So think of it this way. If being vulnerable is difficult for you, then in doing it, in finding the courage to be vulnerable, you're going to find that new doors open up for you. People have a new way of reacting to your energy because vulnerability is a courage and a strength. And that's what's going to shine through is your courage and your strength, right? As you share your story, because your story is going to be very unique from everybody else's. We have not all had the same lived experiences. Even if we were twins and had the same lived experiences at the same time, we are different beings and we're going to process differently. We're going to have different outcomes. We're going to have different thoughts, right? So we need to just appreciate the uniqueness that we each have within and allow our supposed weaknesses, such as maybe your weakness is supposedly your sensitivity. I would suggest to you that your sensitivity, again, is your superpower. I used to be accused of being a sensitive person because I can still watch the same freaking commercial on TV 100 times. It'll still choke me up, right? Especially if it's involving babies and animals. And then baby animals on top of that. Oh my God, right? But in reality, when I started this work, when I really started to hone into my psychic intuition and my mediumship, that sensitivity is what helps my readings be so damn accurate, right? Because I can feel the truth in what I'm sharing, right? If I say something the wrong way, as soon as it's out of my mouth, I could be working on the phone and not see the person's reaction in front of me, but before I've even finished speaking, I'll feel like a word was wrong or the way I phrased it was wrong. And I can take those words back and re-say it the way it was meant to be, and I will feel, due to my sensitivity, that it's now correct, right? It is not a weakness. It is, again, a superpower. All right. And then at the end of the week, broken dreams. Okay, and it says here, only you can accept or reject your dreams. Once again, encouraging you to not let yourself sort of rest on the thoughts and opinions of others, that's how it has to be. If you've got dreams and you've got hopes and you've got desires, who are they to tell you that they're not for you? Right? Who are they to tell you that they can never come true or it's just not for you? That's a bunch of bullshit and you don't need to buy into that story. All right. Allow yourself to dream big, because the rule is no matter what you can think of for yourself, no matter all the good and all the wonder that you can invite into your life and what you think it can be, the universe can outdo you by 100,000-fold. Right? So dream big. What's the saying? Shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you land amongst the stars. So that should be your mantra for this week. All right. Blessed be Gemini. I hope you have an amazing week. If you want to know more about me, just look me up. LeeShanks.com is my website. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Intuitively. Blessed be one and all. Please do hit your like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you back here real soon.